Welcome back, everybody, to Talking Movies with Blaine Childress. I'm here yet again with Blake Childress, also known as That One Filmmaker.
For the 8th consecutive time.
For the 8th time. He never leaves.
I'm always here. I'm never leaving.
How you been, Blake?
You know...
You know what?
That's how I'm feeling this week.
We're just resorting to just making noises.
Yeah, we've run out of comedy ideas. We don't have any good jokes, so it's just gonna be like, hey, what do you think about this film news idea?
And that's it. So, a big holiday happened yesterday.
Hanukkah?
Veterans Day? No, it was
Day.
It was Halloween yesterday.
So wait, are you saying all those kids are veterans?
Yeah. They all served their time.
Give me candy. I served in Vietnam.
I need free candy.
Please.
God, I love making fun of the troops. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Some folks are born waving the flag. Ooh, that red, white, and blue.
That song is in every Vietnam movie. But no, it was Halloween yesterday. What did you do for Halloween, Blake?
I went to the mall. I went shopping. I got a gaming controller. I bought a Lego set, just cause.
This is what you usually do for Halloween?
Yep. I got dressed up as Charlie Brown.
Nice.
Went out.
Did you get a rock?
Yeah, I got a rock.
I got a rock.
It was pretty good, you know. I tried eating it.
Didn't work. Didn't really work out.
Yeah, and then I went to go to the movies.
Nice.
Why don't I talk about that as a horror movie?
Yeah. What'd you go see?
The horror. The horror.
The horror movie.
The War with Grandpa.
The War with Grandpa.
It's a really good horror movie. I'm glad it was
with Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
How do you what do you think of it? Do you recommend it?
No.
No?
It was straight poo-poo. I think the only good thing about that movie was just the experience of being in a theater alone on Halloween, watching some crappy family movie where
you guys could say whatever you want in the movie.
Literally, we were just screaming the whole time. We were just like, what's that?
Just screaming.
Or like, imagine if a person comes in to clean up and they all hear is just two idiots screaming. Yes! We love Robert De Niro.
So, on to the film news. First item of agenda. Spider-Man 3 looks like another fan favorite MCU actor has arrived to the set. Which one is it?
It's like some dead actor. Charlie Chaplin has appeared, guys.
Oh, it's the guy that played Peter Parker's friend, the big guy.
Why are they making a big deal out of that? Of course he'd return.
Yeah, it's Spider-Man 3.
Main cast member.
But apparently they're doing a Spider-Verse thing for Spider-Man 3. What do you think of that?
If Tobey Maguire's not in it, I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not watching it.
It needs to have Tobey Maguire, the original Spider-Man.
I would love it if they did that. That would be
Andrew Garfield.
That would be so hilarious.
I would definitely see it if it's a Spider-Verse, a live-action Spider-Verse thing. So that animated one's really good.
It'd be very interesting to see tackled in live action.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage plays his character.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. Next item on agenda: why the James Bond legacy will always owe Sean Connery a debt of gratitude.
Yeah, Sean
Connery. Yes, another big thing in movies happened yesterday.
Sean Connery died on Halloween.
Sean Connery died on Halloween 2020. Dang. That's sad.
Sad, yeah.
Have you... What's your take on Sean Connery?
He's definitely probably the best James Bond actor. I've seen a few of the...
you prefer him over Daniel Craig?
Yeah, Daniel Craig's okay, but Sean Connery is just
And Pierce Brosnan?
Well, yeah, Sean Connery is just the coolest guy. It's when you think of Like
James Bond.
Yeah, when you think of like James Bond, it's like you imagine James Bond smoking, drinking,
and
killing,
hitting on the ladies.
Yeah, like
killing.
Like if you asked me to picture like who I think James Bond is, I'd picture the Sean Connery one.
I've never seen any of the James Bond movies, and the only movie that I've seen that had Sean Connery in it was Indiana Jones 3, where he plays Indiana Jones' dad. That's the only Sean Connery performance I've ever seen. It was pretty good.
I was about to say,
but I haven't seen any of the James Bond movies. I really want to get into them. I really want to watch them.
I kept saying, I kept telling myself like, oh yeah, remember when he was in that one Adam Sandler movie? But no, he was never in an Adam Sandler movie.
Are you talking about Jack Nicholson from Anger Management?
No, I was thinking of Al Pacino and Jake and Jill. I don't know why I was thinking.
You thought that was Sean Connery? Al Pacino.
The Dunkachino. Wait, can that be the last podcast we do? We talk about Jack and Jill.
We talk about Jack and Jill, yes.
We finally discuss it. It's a 3-hour discussion.
Comes full circle. Happy Death Day director explains how the third movie will be different.
They're making a third one?
I guess.
I might have to try and watch Happy Death Day because, again, I heard from everybody that it's actually a good movie and I'm just not giving it the chance it deserves.
He says, this is a quote, "The idea for the third film is not set in the same day, if that's a big spoiler, so it can happen later. We're not up against a really difficult clock right now. The other movies were hard. Everybody had to look the same, be the same. The pressure's off there." I've never seen any of the Happy Death Day movies. Have you?
No. Again, I heard people said that the first movie is not that bad and it's actually a funny movie. But I am excited for the guy that directed that movie. He's making another movie that's coming. It's supposed to be out in theaters in like a week or two. Have you seen the trailer for it? It's that horror movie with Vince Vaughn.
No.
It's called Freaky, and it's basically, I think what this guy's trying to do with his movies is he's trying to make comedy movies that make fun of like horror film tropes. Like Happy Death Day was making fun of, well, not horror film tropes, but just tropes in general, but make it to a horror comedy. Because Happy Death Day is making fun of the time loop trope, and Freaky is supposed to be making fun of the body switch, like Freaky Friday kind of trope.
Oh.
So it's supposed to be a horror movie where Vince Vaughn's a murderer, and he switches bodies with some teenage girl, and so Vince Vaughn is technically playing a teenage girl, and the murderer is in the girl's body, and so this girl is just going around murdering people, and Vince Vaughn is just like, oh,
I'm a girl.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it, just because I want to see Vince Vaughn do that, because Vince Vaughn, he was the Norman Bates that nobody wanted. He was the mistake.
The mistake, Norman Bates. Next item on agenda: Borat versus Ali G versus Bruno. Who's the best Sacha Baron Cohen character?
Oh, that's obvious. I mean, we already talked about
it's Ali G.
It's Ali G, because we've totally seen.
I have. Yeah, you haven't?
I watched, I think, was it Brennan or somebody put on some of the Ali G movie.
Yeah, I think that was the time we were at my apartment.
And I watched
put on Ali G.
I watched some of the Ali G interview with Donald Trump, and it's a little funny. I only watched it just because Donald Trump made his reaction to Borat 2, and he said he tried interviewing me a long time ago. He's not funny. He's a creep.
He's a gosh darn creep.
But
have you ever seen Bruno?
Yeah, I've seen some of it.
What do you think of it? You don't like it?
It's not, well, I probably just haven't finished it, but it's just not as interesting of a social commentary in my opinion. And like, I don't know, it's like, it's weird. It's like Borat is not only a good social commentary, but Borat's just funny. I like it, but like with Bruno, I think there is social commentary there. Like there are some funny ideas, but maybe I just need to rewatch it because just the time I was watching it, I was just very disinterested. Mm-hmm. But Ali G, I don't know. I've only watched like a scene of it. I remember, wasn't he like, he went to Parliament and he was like talking at Parliament and saying stupid things?
Who?
Ali G. I think that was in the movie, was he went to Parliament and said stupid stuff.
That sounds like something he would do.
Speaking of Sacha Baron Cohen, I just watched a deleted scene. Or it wasn't a deleted scene, but it was like an outtake or something while they were filming for Borat 2. And it was like, you know the scene in the movie where he goes to like a gun, like a conservative rally, and starts singing, and he's in like this redneck
Eric Andre?
Yeah, no, not Eric Andre.
Yeah, no.
Oh, you said a la Eric Andre.
Yeah.
Like you said Eric Andre.
Eric Andre.
Forgot who we were talking about. But yeah, he went to it, and then eventually these guys started like chanting and like yelling at him, and eventually they started chasing him. They recorded this. They started chasing him, and Sacha Baron Cohen had to jump in an ambulance and was yelling at the guy to please drive. And the conservatives were just like slamming on the doors, and they tried opening it to like get him out. And at one point, the funniest part was when he broke character. He literally started just speaking. He talked like a British man and just said, "Get us out of here, please." It's rare to see him break character, and it's funny that was when he did.
So last item on the agenda, how Community prepared Gillian Jacobs for different genres like horror movies.
Yes, Community.
So, I guess the girl who played Britta.
Yeah.
She's in horror movies.
Yeah, her and what's her face? What was the name? Was it Gillian Jacobs?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Alison Brie is also in a horror movie, which was directed by, I think, either her boyfriend or husband. I don't know if they're married. But Dave Franco, he made a horror movie.
Yeah, that's right. He did a horror movie.
Yeah, and she's in it. And apparently they're together. But yeah, I guess just because Community movies not being made for a little bit, they're just.
But are they for sure doing that?
I don't know. All the cast members said they're ready to do it. It's just Dan Harmon is the only one that's. I think the only thing that could definitely make it happen right now is if randomly Rick and Morty got canceled. That'd be the only way for the Community movie to actually be made.
And I think people are getting kind of burnt out on Rick and Morty. Because I don't think, because it's not really that big anymore, or I don't really see people talk about it anymore.
I mean, that's the same thing that happens with like games and other properties. Like when it gets into the pop culture and it becomes like a meme, after a few months, maybe a year, it just kind of dies out and people kind of stop talking about it.
Just forget about it.
Like, yeah, when was the Rick and Morty memes? Like, that was years ago.
That was big, right? Like in 2016, 2015.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been 4 years?
Yeah, because the first season came out in 2013.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I am old.
And they plan on making like 10 more seasons of Rick and Morty.
That's
but like
stupid.
But like, I don't know, because like I don't really see anybody watch it anymore, to be honest. So it might get canceled.
I'm thinking it might get,
or it'll just pull a Family Guy or a Simpsons
and just keep going.
And just keep going forever. I don't know. I actually watched a little bit of Family Guy last night, like the newer seasons, and it's actually pretty funny. Like how the jokes are edited. It's like memes now. It's like online memes. Like the editors are like fully aware of how like stupid Family Guy is, so they just edit it like it's a meme on like iFunny. You just have to watch it to see what I mean. It's just edited like.
I can't wait for comedy shows to all be edited like memes.
like ironic memes, where like YouTube poops.
The jokes aren't even the jokes aren't even setups and punchlines anymore.
It's just wacky sounds.
It's just, hey yo girl, you and me gonna go pull up to that McDonald's.
That's the future of comedy.
I can't wait. It's gonna be next year. I'm telling you. In the fallout of COVID-19, we're all just gonna start enjoying memes.
We're gonna resort back to caveman. comedy.
Caveman. You say that cavemen liked memes back then?
Yeah, they had
they drew
cave
they
drawings.
drew the troll face on the walls.
Little troll face in caveman times.
2006 was caveman times in the meme culture. All right.
So, for this podcast, we don't have 2 movies to talk about. What we are going to discuss in this podcast is the genre of horror. Because yesterday was Halloween and it was spooky time.
Spooky! Speaking, did you get any trick-or-treaters in your neighborhood?
No.
Really?
Yeah, I was about to tell you. No. Not one person. I live in a big neighborhood, and not one person came up to my door.
Well, here's a big thing. Was your light turned off?
No. It was turned on.
Dang.
And I had candy and everything.
That's sad. Well, I'll eat all of it if I go over there.
Yeah, I was like preparing for like a bunch of people to come, and not one person came up to my door.
What's funny is like with our neighborhood where I live, usually there's no trick-or-treaters here, remember? Like the past couple of years. Dad said there was a crap ton this year. Dang. He said at one point like 10 kids came up. Like, I feel
do you think that's like a result of like parents wanting to get back at the system for making them stay home because of COVID?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we can go out. We can go to other people's houses.
In protest against COVID. Protest.
We need a protesting system. They start forgetting English.
They started to forget words.
I mean, I kind of wish I was here last night because when I got home after hanging out with Trent Meadow, it was 12. It was actually almost 1 o'clock, and I feel bad because I really wanted to, because I've always wanted to like give candy out on Halloween. Just in our neighborhood, nobody comes.
Yeah. I don't know why nobody came up to my house. I think because I live in a very secluded area in my neighborhood. Like, I'm not like around a lot of people.
Yeah, your area of the neighborhood looks like a murder den. It looks like somewhere someone's gonna die.
It looks really sketchy. But so what I did do besides not hand candy to people was watch horror movies.
Wow.
So the first one I watched to kick things off is the classic Halloween. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just a classic horror movie to watch.
That's just that everybody watches, pretty much.
Classic Halloween movie to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Original one, Michael Myers. Dude, watching that movie, I could tell that they barely had a budget. It's
very cheap and rough.
The original Halloween and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre are 2 movies that, like, you can clearly tell had no studio backing, and it was just a bunch of crazy young people coming together to make a really weird movie. Mm-hmm. Like, you can tell just by watching it that, like, I don't know. I could just tell from watching it that it was just it was a very independent movie at that time.
And I mean, like, Halloween is a very, 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 very important film in the horror genre, really, simply because it invented the slasher genre. I'm not saying it's the first. I'm saying it invented the formula, the idea.
It wasn't even the first holiday slasher movie.
Yeah, because the one before that was Black Christmas. And you could also argue technically Psycho is a slasher movie, but what invented the actual, like, the genre where, like, things like Friday the 13th started coming out.
Yeah, like horror villains who are just stalking
young people,
stalking brutes with masks on. Yeah, it kind of started with Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Body count's not really that high in that one, though.
It was only like 4 people, right?
Yeah, it was only like 4 people. It was like 3 teenagers.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
And then there was like one guy that got killed off screen.
I mean, yeah, you're right. It is cheap because, like, looking back, that movie only takes place between like 2 houses.
I don't even think there was any blood in the movie. Like, the only blood is like some smears that are like on a knife, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing movie. I really like it.
Did you watch any of the sequels, or did you only watch the first movie?
Because it was on Amazon Prime, and the one that's... Do we have 2 Amazon Prime accounts? Because first off, I rented the Halloween 1 and 2 on my phone, and then I went on the Amazon Prime account on my TV, and it was a different account.
Yeah, we have 2. We have one that's owned by Mom and one that's owned by me.
I guess the one that's on my phone is owned by Mom, because it just says Gina on it. But yeah, no, I didn't watch the sequels. Which one of the sequels do you love the most?
It depends. Personally, I'm not that much a fan of Halloween 2, even though technically people consider that to be the best, simply because, like, it's...
I think people think the first one's the best.
No, I mean sequel. The best sequel
best
movie.
Sequel.
I'm not really, like, I don't even know why I'm not that into Halloween 2. It's just like...
It just feels like another slasher movie.
It feels... No, it feels like the same movie, but just in a worse setting.
Just in a hospital.
Yeah, it's not as good. It's not as relatable as Halloween, because Halloween, it was a house, and that's something that everybody can relate to. Yeah, like, because everyone's always afraid of, what if there's some killer that's in my neighborhood?
Yeah,
so
and then the second one just takes place in a hospital.
Yeah, and it like repeats a lot of the same things. So it's like Halloween 2 is just boring to me. I don't really like it. And then
Halloween 3.
Halloween 3, that's the one everybody like. Okay, here's the thing. I gotta appreciate Halloween 3 since it has nothing. If I would have loved if Halloween stopped being a Michael Myers thing,
It was just an anthology,
and it
like,
became an anthology series. That would have been so cool. If, like, years later we have like 10 Halloween movies and they're all different.
They're all just horror movies based on Halloween.
Mm-hmm. That would have been interesting, but again, it failed. Nobody liked that.
Yeah.
Halloween 3 is a weird movie.
Yeah, and then the success of, like, Friday the 13th, they were like, maybe we should just make it about Michael.
Maybe we should just make slasher movies over and over again. And then 4, 5, and 6, who cares? Nobody likes those movies.
Nobody likes those ones.
Those
are the worst ones.
Halloween H2O. We're just talking about Halloween now.
Yeah, let's just talk about Halloween.
Halloween
and
H2O
then
was...
in the 90s, when Scream came out...
That's when H2O came out.
Kind of, like, reinvented the slasher genre.
It became a comedy.
To make it more... self-aware, more referential.
Like, these are the rules of horror movies.
And then H2O, and then that other one, I think it was just called Halloween Resurrection.
Yeah, which was a sequel to H2O. So H2O, I actually really like Halloween H2O. I enjoy it. I'm not saying it's a masterpiece, but, like, when I watched it, it was pretty cool. Especially when what's her face?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
No, Jamie Lee Curtis is the lady that played Marion Crane in Psycho's daughter, and I think her name's Janet Leigh.
Yeah.
She appears in H2O as a cameo, as, like, somebody that works at the school that Laurie is in charge of.
It shows her going into a shower and getting killed by Michael.
No, but there is a Psycho reference, or it's like a nod. She's driving a car that's like the same model of car that was in Psycho, and also when she's on screen, it uses the same music of, like, the...
Oh crap, that's cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen H2O in forever.
I honestly think it's not that bad. Resurrection, poo-poo.
It's awful.
It's not good.
And then there's the
remix.
The Rob Zombie remix.
I don't even think I've watched those.
Yeah, I've only seen the
first one,
the kill count.
Oh yeah,
videos.
Because watching those videos count as
that counts as watching the movies because he just goes over the movies.
The whole movie.
The whole movie.
Yeah, I mean, like, from what I've seen of both Halloween 1 and 2 from those kill count videos, they're both. Okay.
I don't like Rob Zombie.
Halloween.
His style of, like, making movies, he makes everything so bleak and gross and just sad and depressing.
Halloween 1 is just kind of like a boring remake of the first movie with some extra prequel kind of stuff added in of showing Michael when he was a kid.
Here's my take on Rob Zombie.
Okay.
You know that kid in your insert high school name here?
Yeah, he was in the back of the class.
Back of the class, trying to be edgy, trying to say whatever edgy thing he can to look really edgy. That's Rob Zombie.
You're always looking back and hoping to God that he doesn't do anything.
Doesn't say anything, doesn't do anything, and then he says something really edgy and really cringy.
And then by the time it's senior year, you hear he gets arrested because he has some
Because he had drugs.
He has a very suspicious list in his pocket, and then that's when you.
That's when he becomes a filmmaker.
Good transition.
Good transition.
But yeah, past that we are at
the
newest Halloween, which
2018 went and saw in theaters.
It's not
made by our boy Danny McBride.
Yeah, wait, didn't he write it, or was he?
Yeah, I think he co-wrote the screenplay.
Yeah.
Did he direct it?
No, David Gordon Green directed it.
Who's that?
I think he directed Pineapple Express. Or was that someone else? I don't know. You can fact check me. I remember he directed some Seth Rogen comedy movie.
Go from Seth Rogen pot comedy to Halloween.
Which, I mean, Halloween 2018 is not that bad. I'm kind of...
Yeah, it's alright.
I'm excited just to see where this trilogy goes, because like I'm expecting
so it's for sure going to be a trilogy. Like
there's Halloween Kills, and then there's going to be Halloween Ends. That's the names of both of them.
I wonder if that's going to be the last Halloween movie.
I hope I hope to God it's the last one.
I doubt it.
I mean, like
they'll probably just do like another reboot.
The only way that I'd like Halloween to continue is if somebody just does something different. That's all I care about. You know, like. I mean, you're right. Yeah, if you do something different, it's not going to be as successful. But
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe just come up with something where it's like. I was going to be like pull a Friday the 13th Part 5, but everybody hated Friday the 13th Part 5, so you can't do like a copycat killer idea.
Or maybe do what they were gonna do with Halloween 3. Maybe make like more instead of making another movie. Make like a Halloween like anthology series like on Netflix or something.
Which, speaking of that, this podcast just has no theme because we're just talking about random things. But speaking of anthology, did you hear about Blumhouse?
No.
So apparently Blumhouse is making an anthology horror film series. I've been hearing it's doing pretty well. It's exclusive to Amazon Prime. It's called Welcome to the Blumhouse, and they've released the first 4 movies. And next year they're going to release another 4 movies. Were they
good or?
I'm not really sure. I heard people say they're not that bad. Like I heard the movie called Nocturne was the best, but apparently they're connected, but I don't know how.
Like they're all in the same universe?
Like I don't know. Like it's weird because they're all
Paranormal Activity movies are all in the same universe, and all the other movies that are produced by Blum.
Like they're all different.
Get Out.
Like I don't really know because that's what it's called. It's called Welcome to the Blumhouse. So is the Blumhouse? Is that a?
It's gonna be stupid. I'm telling you, man. It's just people taking other people's ideas. Just them trying to do what Marvel does. I'm telling you, every single studio is trying to bank on a cinematic universe.
I mean, again, I don't know if it's a universe. It just says it's an anthology series.
Well, it probably is. It's probably going to be just like Black Mirror, how like people are just going to assume that it's all in the same universe since it's like this. It's all this in the show, so there's probably just going to be like Easter eggs and stuff to other.
Yeah, I'm probably going to watch it tonight and confirm whether or not like they're connected at all. Because like I looked into like why they're making it, and Jason Blum just said like it's easier to kind of produce movies on like blocks. Where it's like we're going to produce 4 movies and then release them, and then we'll produce another 4 movies and then release them, rather than producing movies solo. So basically so basically what he's saying is it's cheaper and more efficient to just make 4 movies in a row rather than make one movie at a time.
Just crap out 4 movies at a time.
They're Amazon Prime, so maybe they're so bad that they can't be in theaters.
That's so
like they're like, look, Truth or Dare and Treasure Island, those are good for theaters. But these movies, straight to streaming.
Straight to streaming. So the other movie that I watched yesterday was Scream,
which you mentioned a little bit ago.
Wes Craven's Scream.
He died.
Wait, he did?
Yeah.
Wes Craven?
Yeah.
He died.
He died shortly after Scream 4.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's why.
I completely forgot that Wes Craven died.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really that publicized. But hey, Scream 5 is happening.
Yeah, I heard about that they're making a Scream 5. I don't know why, but...
I heard the guys behind that, what's it called, Ready or Not movie are making it. And I also heard...
Is it going to have the same, like, actors and characters?
Yeah, they said it's going to have the original, like, 3, like, who are the main characters?
The Sydney girl.
Sydney is in it. Who's the reporter lady?
It's the girl from Friends.
Yeah.
I don't know her name.
And then the cop guy.
Dewey.
Yeah, Dewey, Cindy, and then the reporter lady that Dewey gets married to. They're supposed to be in it. And I also heard, this is allegedly, that Ghostface is just not even in Scream 5. That they're going to try and come up with something different that's not related to the stuff Wes Craven did.
So stupid.
Yeah, it probably will be.
It's going to be so stupid. But Scream is also a really good horror movie. It came from the 90s. It kind of reinvented the slasher like genre. Kind of made it more mainstream,
self-aware.
but kind of just
it inspired a
whole generation of other.
It's similar to Halloween in that it inspired. I'm not gonna say knockoffs, but it just inspired people to follow suit.
Yeah.
So kind of like knockoffs.
Yeah, knockoffs. So like, I Know What You Did Last Summer. I know Friday the 13th. Really try to go into that territory with like Jason Goes to Hell.
I was going to say scary movie, but that's a parody.
Scary movie. So scary.
So scary.
But yeah, what do you think of Scream?
I think yeah, like you said, it is of its own time. It was a 90s movie. Because like 80s was just slasher movie. There was nothing smart about it. There was no commentary. It was just, yeah, it was just watch this big brute man murder children. Like
murder teens.
Like was that in Friday the 13th Part 6 where Jason just murders children?
No, he doesn't kill the kids, but there were kids in the.
Yeah. I think Tommy may have protected them. I don't know.
No.
They choose to?
They knew for a fact they couldn't get away with Jason
murdering children.
Brutally murdering children. Small children.
Yeah, teens. Fine.
That's okay.
They have
as long as they're over 18, they can die, whatever.
Even though they all look like they're 25.
But if they're under 18,
that's wrong.
That's not good.
What do you think of the Scream sequels?
I like Scream 2. Scream 2 is actually pretty good. I don't like Scream 3. Scream 3 is just kind of weird, and I don't like the choices they make in that movie. Like, they introduced this thing in Scream thing where they get like a voice modulator into the suit, because like different people have to become the Scream character, and they want to use the same voice. So they do this thing where like
you can mimic anyone's voice.
You can mimic anyone's voice,
and it doesn't make any sense.
Possible. You can't do that.
But Blaine, it's a movie. Who cares?
Whatever.
It's a third movie in a horror film franchise.
Yeah, and the fourth one sucks. I don't like the fourth one.
Really?
I think the fourth one's like the worst one. I don't like it. It's just it tries so hard to be like Scream 1, like with all the references to like today's horror movies, you know, where it's all like torture porn and stuff like that.
Because like each one is trying to discuss its own like a part of the horror film.
It's so weird because like horror had like different eras. Like in the 50s, like through the 30s through the 50s, it was monster movies, and then 70s and then 80s it was slasher movies.
70s was more supernatural. I think 70s was really into like either like ghosts, not necessarily slasher movies, but it was like something like Exorcist, Shining, stuff like that. Amityville Horror. Yeah.
There was some ghost stuff, but it was mostly
80s was slasher for all 10
and then
9 years.
And then the 90s was big on slashers, and then in the 2000s sort of started getting into gross like torture porn, like Saw.
Yeah, just like with
Saw movies,
Scream and Halloween.
Hostel.
Saw inspired a wave of imitators with just gross movies.
Gross gore movies,
and
like
then
Hostel and others.
2010 is what I just like to call the no genre. There's really nothing. The only thing I could say that's common is remakes are very common.
Remakes and demon movies, like Ghosts, and I could say like the Paranormal Activity movies kind of helped that out.
There was a lot of
the Jason Blums and your James Wans.
There was a reemergence of ghosts and demons. James
Wan with the Conjuring series and their like little universe that they're doing, which. I mean, I like The Conjuring, but like I think a lot of those movies, especially some of the newer ones,
are poo-poo. Not good.
I don't like them. But yeah, what do you think? What do you think the next era of horror movies are going to be?
I'm not really sure. In my opinion, maybe this is just something that happens every generation, but it's like this generation, I just don't know what we're doing. Like, and I'm not meaning like, oh, we're a bunch of failures. I mean, like, what's going to be our identity? Like, every generation had their own thing they identified by. Like, when you think of a decade, you think of a certain way they dressed, certain things they would say. But it's like, our generation, I feel like we're not necessarily our own thing. We're just kind of like taking things from the past, and we're like, this is what we do.
This is cool. We can vibe to this, and then that's it.
Like, maybe, like, this is just a cool thing that would happen. What if, like, in the next generation, we start to just mimic stuff from the past? That's some like a movie world I want to come up with, where it's like, if it's like the 2050s, they mimic.
Well, I feel like we kind of do that already with like people that try to like do like retro stuff.
Like, what if like in the 2050s they mimic the 1950s, 2060s, the 60s, 70s.
It just
70s.
Reverts back.
Yeah, we just like keep repeating.
We just go backwards.
And like 2080s will just be neon, like filled everything.
Lasers and computers, and our minds will be in computers.
And all the movies would be just remakes of 80s movies.
Do you think we'll do that though? Like, we'll get to a point where like we can't die.
I don't know.
We upload our consciousness onto a computer.
So are you saying, what do you think of Black Mirror? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's actually gonna happen?
Do you think Black Mirror is actually real? I'm probably gonna watch some Black Mirror tonight, actually.
I don't know. Like, again, like I said, I don't really know what's ahead for our generation. But hey, that idea, if you listen to me of saying that whole idea,
take that idea.
Don't take that idea. I'm making that idea into something. It's gonna be a cool murder mystery story in the 2080s.
Well, I think.
So are we done?
Yeah. Well, I think that's gonna about do it today on Talking Movies with Blaine Childress. Any final words, Blake?
I'm going to kill you with this knife. No, don't, no, don't stop me. Let me say what I want to say.
Okay, you can say whatever you want.
Whoever's listening to this, Blaine is holding me hostage. He is trying to kill me. No, please, no,
that's not.
Blaine, please.
That's not true.
Help me, please. Call 911, please.